Hey everyone, welcome to our full video review for the GIGABYTE AERO 15. To start things off, we should definitely go over the specs of the machine. That kicks us off with the CPU, which is the Intel i7 7700HQ processor. The GPU inside is an NVIDIA GTX 1060 with 6 GB of DDR5 RAM. Memory included is 16 GB of DDR4, but will support up to 32 GB. Storage inside is 512 GB on an M.2 SSD. For connectivity, there's integrated wireless 802.11 A, B, G, and N wireless LAN, plus Bluetooth 4.2. Powering the device is a lipolymer battery pack at 94.24 watt-hours. It also has a 150 watt AC adapter. There's a 1 megapixel built-in HD camera below the 15.6-inch FHD X-Rite Pantone IPS LCD screen at the resolution of 1920 by 1080. As for ports on the exterior of the device, on the left-hand side is an Ethernet port, USB 3.0 port, HDMI port, mini display port 1.3, and a headphone and microphone combo jack. On the right-hand side, there's an SD card reader, USB 3.1 Type-C Thunderbolt port, 2 USB 3.0 ports, power adapter port, and the Kensington lock. Taking a look at the inside of the laptop, down at the front you can see the very large 94.24 watt-hour battery pack that gives us pretty good battery life. In the very center of the device, you can see we have 2 sticks of RAM located here. We have one M.2 located just to the right of it, and then there's an empty M.2 slot here where you can put another drive for expanding and having more storage solutions. Then we have cooling for both the GPU and the CPU up towards the top. We have fans on both sides, and we have copper tubes that run down and across over to heat sinks that then go out the back. So everything inside of it is pretty compact. You do have a little bit of room for expansion for drives. No hard disk drives though, which honestly, in my opinion, is a good thing in a laptop. Helps save a little bit on battery life and some room as well. And then we have our Wi-Fi card located down there to the left of the battery. The very first thing you notice about the AERO 15 is the screen and the lack of bezel around it. This makes the screen look larger than it really is, and it also means the footprint of the laptop doesn't have to be as large as other 15-inch laptops. One slight drawback is the camera location below. It kind of seems like it's looking up your nose, which probably isn't the best look if you're in a business call. But the colors of the screen are rich, and the black levels are pretty good on the IPS panel. The keyboard has an array of backlight features that can control the RGB lights any way that you want, and the keys have great travel and feel both while typing and gaming. One improvement from the AERO 14 previously is the inclusion of a number pad as well. I like that. The trackpad is what I would describe as interesting. It has very little resistance while using it, so it took me a tiny bit of time to get used to that new feeling, and I adjusted the sensitivity settings to get the right feel, and then overall I liked it. There are no dedicated left and right click buttons, so beware if you like having them. The clicks that are built into the touchpad can be activated fairly high up, so heavy hands might have the occasional misclick. As for the weight of the laptop by itself, it comes in at 4.9 pounds, and if you bring the charging cable along with it, you'll have about 6 pounds to carry around with you. As for the battery life of the machine, I averaged 5 to 6.5 hours of battery use time, and that was with 50% screen brightness and the keyboard LEDs off. Looking at the thermals of the laptop while gaming, you can see that there is heat in the center of the machine, but that's where the CPU and GPU are centrally located. It's not burning hot, but there is definitely some warmth there. And then you can see that it projects the heat up the screen where the fans will disperse the heat out the back of the machine. As for the decibel levels, while running the fans and playing games, we had readings of 46 out and away from the laptop. Coming up closer to the machine, we had 56 decibels. And then coming around to the side, closer to where the exiting fans are, we had 61. Overall, not too bad. Kicking things off with our testing, we had Firestrike first, which scored 9,665, which makes this 59% better than all other devices that have ran this test. Next, we ran Crystal Disk to get read and write speeds of the M.2 drive inside. The reading speed was 1,819 megabytes, and the write speed was 1,560. And then on to our real-world testing. We started it off with the Grand Theft Auto 5 on very high with no MSAA, and then MSAA at times 2 and 4. We had FPS readings of 101, 85, and 74. The GPU's temperature while testing was 82 degrees, and the CPU's was at 89. Our second game we tested was Rise of the Tomb Raider on medium, high, and on very high. We had FPS ratings of 91, 82, and 68. The GPU's temperature was at 81, and the CPU's was at 85. Our third test was with Dirt Rally on medium, high, and ultra. We had FPS ratings of 123, 95, and 86. The GPU's temperature was at 81, and the CPU's was at 87. And for our last test, it was Hitman on medium, high, and ultra, and we had FPS readings of 88, 66, and 63. The GPU was at 83 degrees, and the CPU was at 89. If you're looking to put a personal touch on your machine, be sure to check out our extensive customization options before checkout, including upgrades to RAM, storage, cooling, overclocking, custom paint, hydro and graphic wraps, laser etching, and much, much more. If you'd like to take a closer look at any of the specific BIOS menu screens, make sure that you pause the video on the one that you would like to view closer. If not, be sure to check out the product link down below in the description, or leave us a comment if you have any questions for us here at Exotic PC. I've been Andrew saying thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe for future product overviews and reviews.